Hey everyone, hi, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Shelly, and today we are doing a Friday Reads. I really enjoy Friday Reads videos because I feel like when I watch other people's videos, it's just a conversation about what they read that week, and I'm always really curious about the reading lives of others. I'm just always like, what are you reading? What do you think about it? And so I wanted to get in the habit of doing my own and making this more of a regular thing. So Friday Reads. Did I say that my name is Shelly? Yes, my name is Shelly. Welcome to my channel. I talk about books, kids books, adult books, books, and sometimes I'm silly. I'm working on not editing as much or any at all. So that's what you're getting. You're getting an unedited version of me, which has been going so much better than before. And yeah, I'm going to be telling you what I'm reading this week, and it is juicy. Okay? Lots of good things. So I actually the first one I have to look up on my phone because I want to make sure I name everyone. But the first thing that I have been reading is Sanctuary by William Faulkner. I've been reading this all month for Faulkner in August. And Faulkner in August is hosted by Alan from Big Hard Books and Classics, Crypto and Uno from the Codex Cantina, Brian from Bookish, Roz from Scalladillion Around the Books, and Noah from Everyone Who Reads This Must Converse. Okay, so, I just want to make sure I got all of the hosts in there. So what we're doing is that we're in this Voxer group, and there is a number of us, I think a good amount of us, and we have a reading schedule, and then, all throughout the week, the group jumps on to Voxer and talks about the reading for that week. And Sanctuary by William Faulkner is my first William Faulkner book. I might do a whole review on it. I might not. So I'm not really going to talk about the premise so much. But Jack from the Rambling Raconteur mentioned that this is, like, if you want to wallow in human suffering, read this book. I also talked to a friend about this book, about Sanctuary, and he sort of widened his eyes a little bit and was like, ooh, that book is very brutal. And yes, it is very brutal. So again, this is my first Faulkner book, and I feel very conflicted about it because on the one hand, every time I pick it up, I am immersed in the story, in the setting, in the action of the story. But the subject matter is really difficult. There is, as a content warning, perhaps there is assault and violence, and it's lingered on. It's not just sort of talked about. It's this building sense of menace until something really bad happens. And as my first Faulkner experience, I don't think it's a very good one. On the one hand, I'm enjoying the fact that the story is engaging, the book is engaging. Every time I pick it up, I'm really immersed in this, in the South, and these characters are intriguing. But I also have this sense of anxiety in me because the subject matter for which they're talking about is really brutal. I actually told my husband that, this book is almost not redeemable at this point. I have less than 100 pages left, and I'm like, the whole journey has been rough. And it's difficult for me to want to even recommend the book because of the brutality in it. I don't know who would want to read Sanctuary. So it's been an interesting first Faulkner experience, and I know a lot of people in our Voxer group are saying that this book, Sanctuary, is not typical of William Faulkner, But at this point, I don't know how much William Faulkner I want to read because it's been such a, like, icky reading experience. Not saying that the book is bad. I don't know. Like, I don't even know how to rate it. I don't even know how to sort through my feelings because of everything that I've just mentioned. So this has been a very confusing experience, and I'm really excited to get to the end and sort of maybe have some finality, some conclusions, and I really hope that Faulkner gives me that. Okay, so that's my first one. The second book that I want to talk about is Actress by Enright. I picked this book up because I noticed that it was on Steve Donahue's blog, Open Letters Review, I believe, and this was his #1 pick of fiction for 2020. And so I was like, I wonder what Steve Donahue thought the best book published in 2020 was. So that's why I picked up Actress by Anne Enright. And this is the story of a woman and her mother and their complicated relationship. And I'm about a third of the way through. I picked it up and I was really excited, and then some other reading really started to crowd in, and I had to slow down with Actress, which I was kind of bummed about because this is a very engaging story. It's very interesting, and it really explores the complex and really difficult and I guess complex is the right word, relationship between our narrator and her mother, who was an actress, and just their ups and downs. Again, I'm about a third of the way through, and I'm really hoping to finish it by the end of August. So I kind of have to get on it and really start picking this back up more. Okay, the third book I am reading on my Kindle. I typically only I only read on my Kindle at night. Or really early in the morning. I wake up sometimes sort of at an ungodly hour, and I'll just lay in bed reading because it's really difficult for me to sort of try and go back to sleep. And on my Kindle, I'm reading A Man Called Ove by Fredrik, I think, Backman? I'm not sure. I'll pop a picture up because the Kindle, the Kindle, it is not very fun to show. And I'm almost done with A Man Called Ove. Actually, now I'm like questioning if that's the right title or not. We're moving forward. There'll be a picture, and I'm not going to worry about it. The best thing about A Man Called Ove, which is about a grumpy older man whose story is a lot more complex and emotional than one might first seem. And what I love about A Man Called Ove, or what I love about Ove himself, is that he's really fun to hang out with. It's kind of a silly book. It's super light. And I think they're going to make a movie based on the book. And I think Tom Hanks is going to play Ove. And as I'm reading this book, I realized that is the perfect cast, at least in my opinion, because Tom Hanks is one of those actors that is really fun to just sort of hang out with. Like, just think about Castaway. He played most of the character himself. The whole movie was just him. And so Tom Hanks is really fun to hang out with. And whenever I pick up the book, A Man Called Ove, which I'm not even sure if it's called that, I also just really like hanging out with Ove. I think he's just, though grumpy and though sort of curmudgeon and always wanting to follow the rules that are in place, he's also just a lot of fun to hang out with. And so I actually might watch the movie, which I don't normally do. I'm not much of a movie watcher, but I thought maybe I'll watch the movie because it would be really fun to hang out with Tom Hanks for a couple hours. All right, I had to do that thing where I check to make sure the camera is still recording, which is why there was a cut. Okay, so now that we're done with Ove, the final book that I picked up most recently is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, and I am doing this as a buddy read with Alice in the Giant Bookshelf, and we decided to read this together. I saw it on her TBR, and I owned Rebecca, but I had never read it, and it was sort of sitting there waiting for me to pick it up. And I am so glad that I did. I told my husband last night, and I still feel like this is true, but this is one of the reasons why reading is so fun. It is a slow, suspenseful, mysterious type of book. And with a nameless narrator, though for a minute I thought her name was Nell, probably because a good friend of mine just had a baby named Nell. But I was quickly corrected and moved on from that. And this is my first experience with Maurier, and she's fantastic. I have been really enjoying her writing style. She has a knack for describing setting in a very immersive and intriguing way, and there is this slow burning suspense that goes on. And so our narrator, she meets a guy, and they quickly form a relationship and get married, and they move in together at this place called Manderley. I think I hear people say Matterly, but it has an N in it, so I'm pretty sure it's Manderley. Moving on from that. And the place, Manderley, is its own character. It's enormous, and it has expectations because of its enormity and its stature in the town, and people know about this place. And so the setting has its own personality, which is really interesting, and Daphne du Maurier is really just able to pull it off really, really well. And so Rebecca has just been an absolute delight. Again, really, really engaging, really a slow and mysterious burn. Now I think I'm just repeating myself. But really it's just been a lot of fun to read, and one of those books that I'm like, oh, if you are not a reader but you want to be, pick up Rebecca, because what an engaging story. I can't believe I've taken so long. It's taken me so long to read Rebecca, because it's been great, and I've really, really enjoyed it. Now, I'm going to close with the fact that I know that there are questions around my children's book project, and right now I am getting myself organized, as well as reading and taking notes and all of that. And I do plan on answering questions in another video. But yeah, I just wanted to do a quick Friday reads, something a little more off the cuff without any notes, and just talk about all the books that I've been reading, which have been wonderful, except for Sanctuary, which I have very mixed feelings about that experience. But yeah, that's it. And I hope that you all have a wonderful Friday. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye, guys.